The text arrived while I was washing dishes. It was from my wife, Kara, sent from her work trip. She wrote that she was done with monogamy. She said she needed variety. She added that I could stay if I accepted it. I just stared at the screen, the suds on my hands growing cold, the water running over plates I no longer saw. The world just stopped. I typed back, my fingers trembling slightly. "Are you serious?" A moment later, her reply came. A calm, simple yes. My heart started to pound in my ears. I had to ask the next question, even though I was terrified of the answer. "Is there someone else?" She didn't hesitate. "There are several," she wrote. "It's freeing." That word hit me like a physical blow. My chest felt hollow, like someone had scooped out everything inside. I told her we needed to talk, face to face, when she got back. Her response was immediate and cold. "I don't want arguments. This is who I am now." I put the phone down on the counter and sank into a chair at the kitchen table. The house, usually a place of comfort, suddenly felt overwhelmingly loud in its silence. Every tick of the clock was a reminder of the life that was shattering. I thought about our wedding day, the vows we made, the quiet, unspoken promises that had been the foundation of our world. I couldn't leave it there. I picked the phone up again. "When did this start?" I typed. Her answer was vague, dismissive. "It's been building for a while." "You shouldn't take it personally." How could I not take it personally? How was that even possible? This was my marriage, my life, my heart she was talking about. I sent back, "How is that possible?" Her next message felt like a line from a self-help book, completely detached from our reality. "Love doesn't mean ownership," she wrote. The anger started to bubble up then, hot and sharp. "Love means respect," I replied, and then nothing. She left me on read. My message sat there, a testament to a conversation that had gone off a cliff. I didn't sleep that night. I just reread the messages, trying to find a version of my wife I recognized, but she was gone. The next morning, I woke up to another message. It was her. "Have you thought about it?" My stomach twisted. I had thought about nothing else. My answer was simple and clear. "I have, and my answer is no." Her reply came quickly, laced with an accusation I couldn't believe. "You're limiting my growth? Limiting her growth?" The audacity was stunning. I felt the anger rising again, but I forced myself to stay calm, to keep my words steady. "My boundary is not a cage," I wrote. She shot back, "Boundaries are outdated." I just stared at that. Outdated. The very things that create safety and trust in a relationship, she was dismissing as old-fashioned. I typed, "I will not share my marriage." Her next text felt like a final verdict. "Then we are incompatible." The word hung there in the air between us, across the miles. "Do you want a divorce?" I asked, my breath catching in my throat. The typing bubble appeared and disappeared. It was a long, agonizing pause. Then the message finally came through. "I want freedom," I told her. "Freedom doesn't require cruelty." She tried to justify it, saying honesty is kindness, but I knew better. "Honesty without care is just harm," I replied. That's when she turned it on me, accusing me of trying to control her. That was the last straw for me in that moment. I wasn't trying to control her. I was finally choosing myself. I told her as much. Her response, a shrug emoji, a single, tiny, dismissive symbol that somehow hurt more than all the paragraphs before it. It was like she was shrugging away our entire life together. I asked where she was staying. She said it didn't matter. I told her it mattered to me. Her reply was the peak of selfishness. "Your feelings are your responsibility." That was it. I put the phone down again. I walked to our bedroom, the room we had shared, and slowly, deliberately I packed a bag. I didn't rush. Each item I folded, a shirt, a pair of jeans, was a conscious step away from the life I thought I had. I left a short note on the kitchen table. "I won't wait." Hours passed. The sun set. I was at a friend's house, just sitting in silence when my phone buzzed again. It was Kara. "Where did you go?" I replied, "I need space." Her next message dripped with condescension. "Space sounds dramatic." My fingers flew across the screen. "Betrayal sounds final." A moment later, my phone started ringing. Her name on the screen. I declined the call. I couldn't hear her voice. Not yet. A flood of messages followed, a confusing mix of apologies and defenses. She said she loved me, but she needed more. I wrote back, more shouldn't mean less respect. She told me how alive she felt on this trip, how she was discovering new parts of herself. The irony was devastating. I feel erased at home, I replied. A long silence stretched between our messages after that. Then a different kind of text arrived. I miss our laughter. The words were a crack in her wall of self-discovery. I asked the question that had been haunting me. Then why did you risk it? Her honesty, when it finally came, was naive and heartbreaking. I thought you would adapt, like I was some kind of organism changing to fit a new, toxic environment. Adaptation isn't consent, I told her. Suddenly the tone shifted. She asked if we could renegotiate. Trust isn't a contract, I wrote back. Then fear entered her words for the first time. I'm scared of losing you, I replied. Fear arrived late. She promised she would end her experiment. That word struck me. Was it an experiment, I asked, or was it a choice? She never answered that question. Days passed with only brief, stilted check-ins. The silence spoke volumes more than her words ever could. When she finally returned, she asked to meet at a neutral place, a small cafe we used to like. The silence as we sat across from each other was heavier than anything I had ever experienced. It was filled with everything we couldn't say. She reached for my hand across the table, a gesture that once meant everything. I pulled my hand back. It was an instinct. A reflex of self-preservation. She looked wounded, but I couldn't fake it. I'm ready to commit again, she said, her voice quiet. I had to know. What changed? Her answer was exactly what I feared. The thrill faded, the newness wore off, and she was left with the consequences. My trust did too, I said, and the words felt like stones in my mouth. That's when she started to cry. Real tears that streamed down her face. She begged for another chance, but the damage was too deep. Chances grow from care, I told her, not from shock. She said she would do anything to fix it. Anything should have come earlier, I replied softly. There was nothing left to say. We stood up and we said goodbye. It wasn't angry or loud, it was just final, a quiet, devastating end. Later that evening, my phone lit up one last time. A text from her. I understand now, I took a deep breath and replied. Understanding is the beginning of healing, apart. Then, I opened our message history, scrolled all the way to the top, and I archived the chat. The quiet in my apartment felt different that night. It wasn't the loud, empty silence from before. For the first time in weeks, it felt honest. It felt peaceful. I put my phone in another room and went to sleep. And when the morning light came in through the window, it didn't feel like another day to survive. It felt like permission to finally move on. Thanks for listening. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more stories about life, loss, and finding the way forward.